Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this very special edition of FSU Weather.
I'm student meteorologist Harten.
And I'm student meteorologist Rebecca Bennett. We have some fantastic alumni here tonight.
Yes, one of them is actually going to be on an interview later in the show. Chief Meteorologist Janice Huff from NBC in New York City, the local affiliate there, is going to come in for an interview.
That's so exciting, and the weather sure cooperated with her.
Yes, it was actually, it was very dry, so low humidity, but we actually got a record high too.
Yes, we did, and it was a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky. It was a great day to be here.
Yes, very, as long as you can take off the jacket in between. But also, not only the weather here is nice, but all across the country it's kind of nice except for the west, where they're going to see a little bit of rain.
Yes, especially in California, but we're going to talk about that later. But here, we should be getting fall temperatures soon.
Yes, finally we're going to get a cold front coming through, and you remember that 50-degree temperature tomorrow morning? We're going to see more of that going into the weekend.
I love cold temperatures. Yeah. You get to wear a jacket, have some hot chocolate. It's not too cold for hot chocolate yet, but
it's much better to get warmer when you're cold than when you're warm and to want to be cold.
Exactly.
I remember going through a hurricane without air conditioning, and that was not
We don't
fun.
like the heat.
Yes, definitely. But, you know, we live in Florida, and that is life. But actually, we're going to send it over to Kate with our overview.
Thanks, guys. And like you said, we had really beautiful weather today. Not a cloud in the sky, and you can see that here on the satellite and radar. There's really nothing over us, over the Big Bend region, and there isn't anything north of that into Georgia and into Alabama, although there is some more cloud coverage, if you can see, down to our south. And later in the show, we're going to explain just why they're going to be seeing a lot of that rain and all that cloud cover. But because we didn't have much cloud cover today, we actually got into the upper 80s and really warmed up today. 87 right now in Tallahassee, 89 in Monticello, a little bit cooler down by the Gulf, 74 in Apalachicola, 80 in Carabel, and that's just because they're getting that southerly wind, so it's bringing those cooler temperatures into the area. But since it's warm, but we don't feel like it's really hot, and that's because of that dew point is very low. The lower the dew point, the better it feels outside. So even though we are in those upper temperatures, we don't feel so hot when we're going outside. And that's good. That weather's really going to continue. And into tonight, we're going to see really cool weather, 56 in Tallahassee, 55 Monticello. So really nice, clear and cool night. So if you do happen to go out, make sure to bring just a light jacket just in case you do get cold easily. And then tomorrow, another beautiful day, especially for that game. Chance of a little bit of sprinkles, but nothing too much to worry about. 80 for tomorrow, and for what we're going to be talking the rest of the time. Nice evening, really amazing, great game day for tomorrow. And when are we going to see those cooler temperatures? But right now, right back to the desk.
Thank you, Kate. You know, she previewed the very nice conditions and also how we're not going to get some rain, but that's not true in some other areas of the country, like out west.
Exactly. In California, they are getting a lot of rain, actually some flash floods, but you'd think it'd be good for them. You know, they have a drought, and it is helping fight the fires, but all that water doesn't, it's not getting absorbed by anything, so it doesn't have anywhere to go.
The amount of rain that's falling is falling very quickly in a short amount of time, and the ground is not able to absorb all the moisture that is being fallen, so it runs off into the street, and that's really causing some transportation issues.
Yes, it is, and it is causing flash flood warnings for Southern California and into southern Utah as well.
But actually here is another place where we need the rain. We haven't gotten any. We've only gotten 2 inches since the end of the semester.
Yeah, we could sure use some rain, but you know, I like sunny skies for game day.
Yes, that's definitely better than rainy skies. Now we're going to send it over to Casey with our local.
Thanks, guys. It was a nice day across the area. This is indicated by an image here from FSU Weather Studio, looking at Doak Campbell Stadium. Just a great day to be outside across our region. Now, in terms of the satellite and radar, we're not really seeing anything on this. Not too many clouds in the sky, a couple here and there, but really just a great day to be outside. We did have a big temperature contrast, though, and that's due to a bunch of dry air that has been in our area, which I'll get to here in just a moment. Now we see in terms of those temperatures this morning, it got very cool. 52 in Tallahassee, 54 in Bainbridge, 52 in Thomasville. Just a great day across our area this morning. Waking up, nice temperatures in those mid-50s here across the Big Bend region and southwest Georgia. Now, currently, though, the temperatures really did warm up today. 87 in Tallahassee, 83 in St. Mark's, 90 in Bainbridge. Very warm conditions are the story here. across our region this afternoon. In fact, we did get up to 92 at the Tallahassee International Airport, and that is a record high by 2 degrees. Just nice and warm conditions, a 40-degree temperature contrast. You don't see that very much here in this area. Now, in terms of those relative humidities, well, this is one of the factors of why that temperature difference is in place. We see 39% humidity, not very sticky out there, just dry air around 41% St. Mark's, 30% Bainbridge, a little more as we get toward the coast, but overall, nice conditions. Now, futurecast-wise, we see it will be a good evening around our area. We do see a cold front to our north, and this is going to bring a chance maybe for an isolated sprinkle or two, but I wouldn't really be too concerned about it. Overall, nice, great weather conditions around our region for the game. We see early tomorrow morning waking up. It'll be relatively clear according to our forecast. It should be a pretty clear game day, maybe a sprinkle or two, but shouldn't be too concerned about that. Lunchtime hour, getting ready for that game, we'll be seeing, again, just great weather conditions around while that cool front does drip to the south some, as well as we do have a stationary front in South Florida bringing them some moisture, but that's not going to affect our weather across our region, though they could have a couple inches of rain down toward the Key West area. Now, later Saturday night, well, we do see that cool front kind of down in central Florida again, maybe a sprinkle or two there, but again, just great weather conditions overall. A great weekend to be outside. Just go enjoy it. But now as we get in toward our part of our Sunday morning, we'll see some cooler weather conditions in play. We'll be seeing temperatures in the low to mid-50s. Now tonight, mid-50s around 56 Tallahassee. That'll be the story. But now for our game tomorrow, we'll be seeing that weather situation across our area. We'll be seeing 72 degrees for the game against the Louisville Cardinals. We could have a sprinkle or two around, but it shouldn't be too big of a concern. And in that 7-day forecast, well, we see those temperatures starting to cool off just a little bit behind that cool front, but starting to warm back up by the early and middle part of next week. But right now, we'll go ahead and take it over here in just a moment with Zach. For now, we'll take it with him for a look at your Seminole Sports Wrap.
Hey, what's up, sports fans? I'm Zach Covey. We begin today's Seminole Sports Wrap with a look at this weekend's Florida State football game against a disappointing Louisville team, one that many experts agreed would be undefeated and even possibly ranked when they came to Doak this week. It didn't help that Louisville dropped 3 straight, including 2 games against top 15 ranked teams in Auburn and Clemson, but this Louisville team has strung together 2 nice wins against Samford and North Carolina State. Expect the Seminoles to encounter a Cardinals front 7 defense keen on stopping running back Dalvin Cook and limiting him to a sub-200-yard game, if that's limiting at all. And try to force Everett Golson, who seems to be getting a bit more in sync with his receivers, to throw some deep balls into safety territory. Still, while a back-and-forth game is expected, I think a Seminoles defense ranked 11th in the nation will be strong enough to stop a Louisville team, especially if you throw a few sacks into the mix. I've got the Seminoles taking this one 27-20. We switch gears now, talk about upset alert. 2 teams in particular that I think may have a bit of trouble when it comes to game time. We start out with Clemson. I know they're the ACC favorite to win, but I think Clemson has good fortune, and that's come from a strong defensive stance. Their defense ranks 5th in the nation, while their offense, on the other hand, comes in as 112th. Not a ranking they want when they'll be facing the #1 defense in the nation, a team whose final score last week, get this, a 3-0 loss against Wake Forest. That team is Boston College. If Boston College's defense can keep doing what it's been doing against a subpar offensive front 5 of Clemson and get a few good drives together on offense, this game may be much closer than many think. I still have Clemson squeaking out a win at home, but 1 turnover or missed call could send Clemson their first loss of the season. I've got Clemson winning 17-13. My other and final upset team, the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Many looking at Alabama hoping they fall for the 2nd time this year. It's do or die for Bama, as another loss to an SEC foe would almost certainly make it impossible for them to make it back to the SEC championship this year. They face an undefeated Texas A&M team. Dr. Fielberg, you watching? Who I think may have finally found not only a rhythm, but a way to win week after week with quarterback Kyle Allen at the helm of this team. It doesn't help Bama that they struggled until the end of the 4th quarter to put away Arkansas, a team that shouldn't have hung around as long as they did. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Still, I think the Aggies have the advantage at home. I'm going rogue on my pick. I've got the Aggies in this one, 30-27. That's all I've got for you. Remember, Roberto Aguayo for Heisman 2015 reporting live in studio tonight. Zach Covey for FSU.
And speaking of sports, tonight we have Jam with Ham at the Donald L. Tucker Center.
Oh, I know. We're all real excited for that. That's a dunk contest that's going to be featuring the FSU athletics team including player Dwayne Bacon, who won the All-American Dunk Competition earlier this year.
And one really great thing is that admission is free for anyone.
That's going to be 7 p.m. at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center.
And it's going to be a great event for everyone. You get to see a little bit of the FSU basketball team. I think we have a great season coming ahead, but it's going to be really cool that you get to see all of them before the season starts.
Oh, yeah, and it's great that the naming nod went to Coach Leonard Hamilton, who's been 2-time ACC Coach of the Year. It's really great that they're giving him the nod with that.
That is really great because you don't have that many coaches that have 2 ACC Coaching of the Year awards.
I know, most definitely. On top of that, we're going to be seeing musical group Travis Porter making an appearance. I believe they're a rap group.
Yes, they are. That's what I've been told. I actually personally had never heard of them, but I'm assuming they're really good because they're going to be here.
I know, sports, music, how could you go wrong? I'm
exactly,
excited.
and free. Did we mention free?
No, well, we might have.
Free is important. Free is always good.
Again, that's
Us
7
college
p.m.
kids.
at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center, and it's free admission. I highly recommend tuning in or showing up.
All right, but for now, we're going to see what Jay has going all around the country.
Yes, we will. All around the country, seeing a lot more freeze and frost advisory over in the upper Midwest, as well as some interesting little developments going on over in California. But I'll tell you about that in just a second. We'll take a little bit more look on our area, seeing Tallahassee at 87, New Orleans at 90 degrees. Over in Miami, it's still a little bit rainy over there at 78 degrees. Like I said, that watches and warnings, there's a couple I'm definitely be going over when I get later on into the radar map. I just want to point out the big ones. You have a frost advisory over in parts of Iowa and parts of Tennessee, as well as Nashville. So again, a lot more frost advisory. Freeze warnings and freeze watches are in effect as well. And like I mentioned before, for California, they are seeing a lot more flood watches and flood warnings over there. But I'll go a little more about that into the radar tour. Wiper map, over in our area, you're not seeing too much, just a lot more dry air because the cold front is starting to make its way over past our area, so you're seeing a lot more drier air and a lot more cooler conditions. Radar, I'm going to give you a little more zoomed in look. I'm just going to give you the overview for most of it. Like I mentioned before, a lot of parts of Phoenix, Arizona, parts of San Francisco, as well as parts of the I-5 corridor are seeing a lot of rain over in the area, but a little more like that when I get to this radar tour. Like I kept teasing before, the radar and alerts, you're seeing Miami, a lot of showers over in parts of Key West, parts of Miami-Dade County, Kendall County, as well as parts of Collier County. And unfortunately, that's where Lady Knowles are at, playing in the Bedford Cup. So sadly, they're seeing a lot more rain over in the area. So sorry, ladies, but it's going to be a rain day for the next couple of hours. Radar tour, this orange you see just pop up over Phoenix. That is a dust storm warning. So again, that means low visibility, not breathable weather. So make sure you stay indoors on that, because again, dust storm is not exactly a great one to be outside for. Also, like I said before, the I-5 corridor over in Southern California, you're seeing a lot of rain. Because of that rain, you're seeing a lot more mudslides. So again, that's quite dangerous over there. Over in the northwest, not too much for Seattle and parts of Washington and parts of Upper California. But the big player over here is going to be parts of the northeast. Seeing Detroit, Chicago. I'm going to mention Chicago. They're seeing the first freeze this season. So again, that's quite a significant one. And for vegetation and for all the farmers out there, for the upper northeast, that means vegetation. They are seeing that freeze warning. So again, make sure your vegetation stays covered up, because again, that is not too good for most of the crops. Tonight's forecast, you're seeing 56 in Tallahassee. Make sure you bring a light jacket. That's quite a cold one. I'm in South Meridian, so again, 56 is not something I want to see for tonight, but I know most of you out there definitely want to see that with all the heat that we've seen the past couple of days. So tonight, not too much. Tomorrow, 80 degrees in Tallahassee, 75 in New Orleans, 86 in San Antonio. So again, I only see more hot temperatures. Shane, I know you're a little bit sunny on the sunny side. Do you have any sunny temperatures for us?
That we do, Jay. What we have going on in the Big Bend right now can be described in 2 words, high and dry. The first part of that high refers to the temperatures, 87 degrees right now in Tallahassee. Topping out at 92 today, we broke a record high, and it's a little too warm for my taste for this time of year in Tallahassee. As for the second part of that phrase, dry can be indicated by the radar. We don't have anything going on in the Big Bend region or the greater southeast for that matter. The only rain showers we see in the southeast right now are down there in the Miami and over the Florida Keys. But as for the northern panhandle, high and dry, and it's going to stay that way through the next several days. We've got a nice evening lined up for everyone. We've got a cold front that's going to come through the region overnight, but it's not going to bring the usual rain that we see with such a front. What it's going to bring, and we can say thanks in advance, for a mainly clear game day. We're going to see sunny skies, barely any clouds at all, and the temperatures will be perfect as the Seminoles take on the Cardinals tomorrow at noon at Doak Campbell Stadium. More on that in just a few minutes. Saturday will remain clear and sunny throughout the game time, and then as we get into the later hours, we're going to cool off to another chilly evening in the Big Bend region. And then Sunday, the temperature won't climb that high at all. It's going to be a lot cooler than we've been seeing the last few days with those highs in the upper 80s and lower 90s, which is much too warm for me. I come from up north. I don't like the heat, even when it is dry. But Sunday, we will only be seeing highs in the 70s, which is a gorgeous fall day, in my opinion. I personally am looking very forward to that, because tomorrow is going to be the perfect beach day. If you don't happen to be at the Louisville game here in Tallahassee, you can head on down to St. George Island. It's a perfect day for the beach. Lots of sun, though, so bring your sunscreen with a UV index of 6. If you've got pale skin, you could burn pretty easily with no clouds around to add as an atmospheric sunscreen. Anyway, tonight we're going to get down to 56 degrees in the capital. It's going to be clear and cool, and if you're from Miami like Jay, you'll want your light jacket around. Planning out your game day for you, if you get up early like we will, 57 degrees is going to be our start in Tallahassee, 72 degrees by kickoff, topping off at only 80 degrees by the end of the game, where we all certainly expect to see another Seminole victory, as Zach predicted. Once again, 72 degrees when kickoff happens against the Louisville Cardinals. A 10% chance of rain, but you shouldn't need any rain gear, and besides, umbrellas aren't permitted in Doak, so don't even bother. And then with the 7-day, we're talking about 7 days and 7 suns. I am really liking this forecast. We've got temperatures in the upper 70s throughout the weekend, even checking in at 49 degrees Monday morning, so get out those jackets when you head back to class on Monday. And now we're going to throw it out to the desk for a very special interview with the chief meteorologist at NBC New York, Miss Janice Huff.
Well, thank you, Shane. So I'm here with the lovely Janice Huff, and I'm here to interview her. So
Hi.
tell me, Janice, tell me a little about yourself.
Well, as you know, I graduated from Florida State University in 1982.
Yes.
And when I was here, you didn't have all this. This is really special.
We've upgraded a little bit.
Yes, you have. I was actually here for the first year that they were implementing the whole broadcast portion for the weather department for meteorology. So I wasn't able to take advantage of this particular part of it, but this is fantastic. I think this is great what you guys do. I really do.
Well, so what really got you into meteorology?
You know, I always like to describe it as I was born this way. I think we all were. Just about everybody that I know that I went to school with, and all of you guys here too, it was kind of one of those things where you're always fascinated by weather as a child.
Definitely.
You thought, wow, look at the clouds. I wonder how that happened. Thunderstorms, this and that. And I was like that when I was a little kid, and it was when I was probably about 10 that I decided, I think I want to study that. I want a job doing that because I just love, it's so fascinating. I just love it so much. So that's kind of how it started.
And then you got there.
And then the rest is history, sort of.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me about President Obama. I heard you met him.
Well, that was a little over a year and a half ago. Several meteorologists from around the country, 8 of us actually, were invited to the White House for the climate report that the White House puts out every year, every so many years. And I was one of the 8 who was invited to go. That's and it was really special. It was a very special day, meeting the president, but also just being at the White House. It's kind of a
Was it
kind
exciting?
of a cool place. Yes, it was very, very exciting. Very exciting.
That's beautiful. So what influenced you in school? Like what gave you the drive to be a meteorologist?
Well, you know, I just love the weather so much. I mean, being here and being in school is kind of different than if you're just like watching the weather on TV or you think, wow, the weather's really cool. It's really hard. It's really hard. I mean, there's a lot of math involved.
Yes,
and math wasn't always my best subject, but I had.
But you made it through.
I did, and I had professors like Dr. Alquist, who you guys have, who helps to implement this and help you get through this. Dr. John Alquist is the best. and helped me through.
So what advice would you give high schoolers or listeners who want to do broadcast meteorology?
Well, you know, broadcasting's a tough business.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone.
Right.
But it is really fun and fascinating. Here's the thing. Whatever it is that you want to do in life, as long as you love something, love doing it, you're going to be happy.
Right.
Whatever it is that you decide, it's about your passion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I can feel that.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you for being on our show.
Thank you.
I loved interviewing you. Thank you from
fellow New
FSU
Yorker.
Weather. Yes, yes. And we're going to take it to Matt for our Around Florida.
Thank you, guys. I don't know how the heck I'm going to outdo that one. Thank you, Miss Janice Huff, for being here with us tonight. This is awesome. This is a lot of fun. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try to do it with a stationary front down here. I think that's a good place to start. Miami, South Florida, you're seeing most of the rain right now here across the peninsula and across the entire southeast, really, for that matter. Really a whole lot of nothing going on across our area, and that can be seen by the water vapor. The water vapor is going to help us out illustrating exactly the point. We had all this dry air here. I guess it got the memo that Halloween's coming up, so it turned orange on us. But unfortunately, that moisture's starting to move back into our area a little bit. But a cold front, as we've been talking about throughout the show, will be making its way on through to make things a little bit nicer. Currently around the state, we see that sunshine across the northern portion of Florida. And then as we get down the state just a little bit, Miami, Key West, that's where they're seeing the cloud cover right now. Some rip current statements down out towards the Miami area as well. So if you are heading out to the beaches, watch out and swim parallel to the shore if you do get caught up in a rip current. Today's low temperatures, we woke up to 52 degrees here across Tallahassee. Down the state, you see that gradient as we increase. 78 in Miami, 77 in Key West. Across the northern Florida, it was feeling rather nice. And really, the relative humidity is part of that. It feels really nice outside, albeit it is nearly 90 degrees, and we did break that record today. 39% relative humidity, so it's really dry out there, and even parts farther north of Florida here in Tupelo, 19%. That's where those fire weather watches start to come into play, and we start to see all that really dry, things start to become a tinderbox out there. South Florida is a mess right now. You've got this rain shield moving on across the state, really cloudy conditions out there. Not the best evening for South Florida commuters, but as we zoom on out just a little bit, that's really the only area we're seeing it. And here's our Futurecast radar. So we're going out into the future here to see where exactly the rain's going to go. I pushed this into motion. That frontal boundary stalled out, that moved through our area a few days ago. It's still going to hang around there, feeding the moisture into South Florida. And then as we move into the day on Saturday and into Sunday, you can't see anything in our area. No, this isn't broken. We just have really beautiful skies and 0% chance in our area. Now I'm going to touch on the source of the cool weather. Now behind me here, we've got this jet stream that's starting to dip down into the United States. Now this is like a river of air pouring that moisture, or that cooler air that's way up in Canada and near the Arctic down into the United States. All that air just filters in through our area as well. And South Florida not getting in on that one very much, but we are certainly. And tonight, we illustrate that right here. 56 degrees here in Tallahassee, 55 in Pensacola, Jacksonville, 56 down the state. We see 75 in Miami. That may be the high that we see on Sunday. I'm really excited for that one, especially for that Louisville game tomorrow. Here's tomorrow's forecast. Speaking of that Louisville game, 80 degrees here in Tallahassee, 77 in Pensacola. Gorgeous day all around for our area. I'm going to step off screen here. Once again, thank you, Ms. Janice Huff, for being in our studio today. We're going to send it back on over to the desk with Jordan and Matt.
Thanks so much, Matt. I'm also here with another Matt, Matt Mackie. He's one of his first times on our desk today. But today we are going to bring it to weather history. Today in 1913, San Francisco hit a record high of 101 degrees.
Now that's amazing. I just can't even imagine that. We hit record highs today of 92 measured at the Tallahassee International Airport, but 101 in October, I can't even imagine.
No, we only see heat indices like that during the summertime, and that's usually only in August. But
I know, just really amazing unseasonable temperatures out there.
Absolutely.
Now, taking it over into the Midwest, in 1937, we saw 10 inches of snow from a very unseasonable snowstorm in Minnesota and Iowa.
That's crazy, 10 inches of snow. That's equal to about an inch of rain, but snow is a lot harder to drive in, I'll say that.
Yeah, most definitely. That's crazy. They're breaking out the snow shovels while we're over here breaking out the sunscreen, 92 today.
Seems like it, especially for the game tomorrow. But for now, we are going to take it back to Ulises for the desk segment.
All right, thanks, Jordan. Right now, 87 degrees, partly cloudy skies. A very hot day when it comes to those temperatures. 92 degrees, a record high, but you really did not feel that 92 whatsoever, thanks to that humidity at 39%. Temperatures all throughout the Big Bend, very warm, toasty, 89 in Monticello, 86 in Bainbridge, thanks to that Gulf breeze, those cooler waters, 74 degrees in Apalachicola. Beautiful day, very little clouds whatsoever, maybe a cirrus, a cumulus cloud here and there. The humidity, very dry, 20s, 30%, a little bit higher towards the coast into the 60s and 70%, but this will all be reinforced later on this evening with a cold front. Radar, no cloud cover, no rain whatsoever. Excellent Friday as we go into this weekend, especially with FSU facing the Louisville Cardinals. Satellite radar, that next frontal system has really weakened all throughout the afternoon. We do see the stationary front that passed over Tallahassee back on Tuesday, now affecting Miami and Key West. The rain amounts all throughout the Keys and into South Florida have been less than an inch of rain overall. The only exception at the highest was Homestead at 0.68. And those conditions will continue for the rest of the evening as that cold front above us will eventually push us further out into Cuba and into the Caribbean. While towards the north, we do see cooler temperatures and a couple of showers here and there into Arkansas and Missouri. Futurecast shows how this frontal system will pass over us as we go into tonight. Very cool conditions. It's going to be a beautiful evening, an isolated shower or so by the time we get into the early morning hours and even mid-morning. And by the time we get into the afternoon, abundant sunshine, folks. Excellent overall just to go out there, tailgate, especially early in the morning, get that wonderful breakfast before kickoff. And by the time we get into the evening, that cool air will be reinforced once again, and temperatures will be hovering to those low 50s and even upper 40s by the time we get into Sunday night and Monday. 56 degrees, clear and cool night. That jacket will be necessary if you're going to go out to your early activities like downtown get down. By the time we get into the breakdown for tomorrow, cool morning at 57 degrees. Isolated sprinkle could be possible before game time or very early on into the game. The winds will be about 5 to 10 miles per hour, and temperatures will struggle just to hover to that 80-degree plateau. Kickoff, excellent, a lot of sunshine, few clouds, 72 degrees. That winds again north to 5 to 10 miles per hour. And the next 7 days, autopilot conditions. Temperatures will hover into those upper 70s, low 80s in those afternoons. Slightly below average for this time of the year, but we'll take it. Summer is finally gone with that last push of that 92. And it looks like those 90s will not come back again, but morning lows could be flirting back into those 40s. Monday morning, cool one. And now we're going to send it over to the desk with Jordan and Colleen.
Thanks so much, Ulises, and thanks to Janice Huff today for being able to come here for an interview. It's great to have her. She's the chief meteorologist for NBC in New York City. Can you believe we got the opportunity?
City, yes, she's just so accomplished and such an inspiration to all the undergraduates here at FSU Weather. And now, tomorrow, it is a Louisville game at 12 o'clock with 72 degrees. That is great weather for a football game.
And the cold front is going to come through this weekend, going to bring a lot cooler temperatures throughout the next week. As we go into the 7-day, 49 degrees for the low on Monday. I haven't seen a 40 in forever. And being from South Florida, that's cold for me.
It's time to break out the boot socks, ladies. So 10% all across the board from Wednesday to Friday. And the soccer game tomorrow is at 7 o'clock. Do not forget about the soccer game. Go to the football game, then turn it on over. Then you have to like us on Facebook /FSU Weather. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram.
And don't forget to watch our smiling, beautiful faces at livestream.com/FSU Weather. And it is going to be an absolutely beautiful weekend. And I look forward to seeing everyone at the football game tomorrow to come and support your Noles. I'm student meteorologist Jordan Frazier.
And I'm Colleen Peterson.
Have a great night, Tallahassee.